Do you have a favorite LTM? Do you wish Epic Games were to bring back your favorite LTM out of all of them? Because we still have hope. We have hope that Epic Games is going to bring back LTMs. But today, we're going to be talking about the Fortnite community's favorite LTMs. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Kyle. I am your guy with many YouTube channels, and welcome back to the Reply Room, everybody, where we ask the community to jump into the Discord server and answer a question, give some in-depth replies. Let's take a look. I talk a lot about my opinions on Fortnite, but today I want to take a look at your opinions in this amazing, amazing community we have together. I asked the Discord server this: what is your favorite LTM and why? And we had some beautiful, beautiful comments, and it is important to note I'm recording this intro again after I already recorded it because there were a couple people who did say pretty much the same thing. Unfortunately, I had to skip those just for the video, guys. I really appreciate your response, but I apologize if it was not included over here today. It's just, we can't have doubles. That's all. We can't have some doubles, but I'm happy you're here. Guys, if you want to help make videos, join the Discord server. Let's get into it for today. Unvaulted. I just like how chaotic it is with all the crazy vaulted items, and it's cool to play with fan favorite old guns without them clogging the loot pool. Plus, my favorite gun is in it, so I have to pick it. Overall, I think it's a fun one. We don't even know what your favorite gun is, General. Ghouls? I don't know why I said General there. I know why I said it. It's because of the name, but I always call you Ghouls. Anyways, Unvaulted is a beautiful mode. Playing with all the guns in the loot pool that you haven't seen in forever is always a blast. I particularly love picking up balloons, and every once in a while you see something ridiculous like a junk rift. Oh, I am so here for it. I'm so here for it. Bodyguard. I mean, I really need to explain myself. No, you don't. It was literally so much fun with the homies. Like, honestly, they should bring back the revive grenade for BR. Like, that was so chaotic and so fun. If Charlie doesn't bring it back, then something might happen at Epic HQ. Oh my god, I didn't expect to see that one. You even have the blood emoji there. But guys, if you don't know, Bodyguard is my favorite particular mode in all of Fortnite. We went all into this, and I think I made a video on it back in the day. I actually don't remember if I did or not, but what we did is we would drop in, is because it's like the protect the president mode, right? You would drop in, your president gets chosen, the bodyguards get chosen, and if we're the bodyguards, we're like, Mr. President, what do you want us to do? And like that guy becomes like the leader of the squad for that whole session that we're playing, and it's so much fun that you have to do like absolutely everything you can to protect this one member on the squad. Bodyguard was some of the most fun I've ever had playing in this game, and I miss it with all my heart. Marvel Knockout. Maybe I'm biased, but I personally was always a Marvel fan, and the powers were so good. I wish we had more powers like it, and I heart Wolverine's claws. I found it cool every round that you would have different powers instead of keeping the same each round of the game. That is also true. Marvel Knockout was one of the most unexpected fan favorites that there ever were, but am I wrong? Like, it was so much fun to just play with those superpowers and just get kills. It was such a simple mode with some nice superpowers. It was a blast. There's nothing else to add with that. I knew I'd see this one. It has to be Food Fight personally. There are so many reasons to love this mode. Firstly, I love the gameplay of protecting your mascot with builds, turrets, and yourself. But my favorite part about this LTM is it feels like something that could actually happen on the island and not feel out of place. It fits in with the lore put in place with the rivalry between the companies, with them taking shots at each other through the map changes. Overall, it's just a really fun game mode. The second to me would be the Marvel one. Now, the part where you wrote that it fits in the lore and just, it feels right in Fortnite. You're exactly right about that, and that's the nice little touches that Epic Games has lost a little bit. We can see with this season, there was obviously so much more care put into it, and we can hope that with moving on from this season, we have that amazing, amazing Fortnite experience again, but it's so true. Food Fight's so nostalgic for that reason. I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm not the biggest Food Fight fan compared to everybody else, but it was fun for me. Looking back on it, it's so nostalgic. It's so different. I just really miss the days of Food Fight, man. It was really fun. It was really fun to play. I had a friend at the time that I played with every day that has absolutely refused to play anything other than Battle Royale, and we had to drag him by his foot to go play Food Fight. It's fun to think about, dude. It really is. My favorite LTM is Spy Games. It had a variety of different modes so you could play Operation Payload, a new and unique way to play the game, and it was so fun. People were limited to like 150 mats, I believe 50 each, and it made the experience much better. My favorite of the modes, dude, Payload was my favorite too. Payload was my favorite too. Nobody talks about Payload. They all talk about Knockout and Drop Zone. Payload was so much fun. It was a blast. Sorry. It was so much fun. I love Payload. Anyways, Operation Drop Zone. This is probably the weakest one, but still fun. You had cases dropping in the zone. Teams of max 20 people needed to reach 150 kills before the opposing team. Operation Knockout, there were groups of 4 and 4 rounds, each round taking place at a different location. You got to get a higher kill count than the opposing team to move on, and if you won the files, you won the game. This format was later used for Marvel Knockout. Unpopular opinion, I actually liked Operation Knockout more than I did Marvel Knockout. Loved them both, but I really loved playing with different guns, a different loophole. Everybody had something different, right? You had to like that little scroll, you had to choose your guns. I thought it was really, really fun. And we also have Operation Infiltration. There were two teams, attackers and defenders. Attackers were supposed to take a case that would randomly spawn in zone and take it to a safe zone, while the defenders were supposed to keep the case safe for 2 minutes. What I loved was the variety. The alignment to the season theme, the music, the way you unlock different techs and perks were basically an early version of the augments. There were techs from just getting weapons to having special abilities like Siphon or Infinite Ammo. Fun fact, they also use this for the device event of Team instead of Team Rumble. Dude, I don't have anything to add to that. It was amazing. The variety was amazing. It fit in the season theme, and it was some of the most fun I've ever had playing this game. Epic Games. You hear a little bit of a consistency part here. LTMs were some of the most fun I've ever had playing in Fortnite ever. Spy Games was fun, man. I miss it with all my heart. Avengers Endgame. Imagine watching the greatest superhero movie of all time, coming back home in such a joyful mood, and opening up the most popular game, Fortnite, to see that there's an LTM for the greatest movie you just saw. Remember back in the day, I'll talk about it in just a second. Nothing beats the vibe and nature of the LTM. You had 4 amazing hero mythics, the Thanos Gauntlet, which was the best mythic of all time to this day, and the Chitauri Warriors were only playable in the villainous side. Pure perfection, and not to forget about the skins that came in the item shop. At that time, having a Marvel collab was a major thing, and it was no surprise when the community grabbed their hands on Black Widow or Star-Lord. By far, the best LTM that came along with the best atmosphere, a peak era. That's exactly true. Exactly true. Do you remember back in the day? You still see this every once in a while, but do you remember back in the day, people were saying that this ruined, just the NPCs of the world, right? The people who can't fathom playing a video game. They're better than Fortnite, right? The people just talked about this ruining Avengers Endgame. But you're exactly right. I have a little bit of a story with this one, to be honest with you. When the LTM came out, I watched Avengers Endgame late because the theater was just booked. The second tickets went on sale, right? So we're playing this mode, and I was seeing it with my family. My friends also haven't seen it. For those of you who watch a channel, I'm going to be talking about Garrett, Grant, and Brandon, okay? Brandon, my best friend Brandon, the most lovely guy there is. I'm playing Fortnite with him and a guy who doesn't play Fortnite anymore. His name's Mike. We're playing, right? We're having some fun. And he goes, you want to hear what happens in Avengers Endgame? I'm like, no, this dude has a history of spoiling stuff, by the way, and just accidentally spoiling stuff. It's horrible. So I go, no, I'm not hearing it. And then he was laughing a little bit. I wasn't taking my chances because I have 10 years invested into Avengers Endgame, right? I'm like, no, I stayed away from spoilers. I'm not hearing it from your stupid, So I left the party, and then I went and joined Garrett and Grant, who were playing by themselves. And I was like, guys, can I come play with you? Brandon's going to spoil Avengers Endgame for me. Oh, I left and called him an a-hole, right? And then literally what's hilarious about it is I joined Garrett. I told him that, and he goes, what an a-hole. I'm like, yeah. So Brandon and Mike ended up playing together, and then Mike was upset with Brandon because we lost our trio, and we were playing Avengers Endgame in a competitive mode. And then I just played with Garrett and Grant for the rest of the night, and it was really fun. We had a wholesome moment. We were talking about our theories for Avengers Endgame. I was still convinced that Loki was a Hulk. They were calling me an idiot for it. It was amazing. But the LTM in general was a blast. Brandon ended up getting his karma, by the way, because he never got to beat Thanos, which was hilarious. It was hilarious, and I got to beat Thanos like 6 times in a game. It was great. I loved the Avengers LTM. Tilted Taxis. I had a very hard time deciding between the 4 LTMs for this, but at the end I went for Tilted Taxis. For those who didn't play it, it was a mode where you and your team would add characters to certain locations and it allotted time to earn stars. You could also do bonus tasks, for example, destroy a certain amount of objects, which would change depending on the character and you get bonus stars. Whichever team or player got 45 stars first, won. I adored this mode. It was just complete chaos with the amount of taxis rushing about, added by the fact that you could destroy other taxis by jumping out of your vehicle and shooting them. Therefore, it created the decision of whether you go for as many fares as possible, or you do just become the world's most annoying person by killing everyone, letting your teammates get the stars from driving. Also, it reminded me heavily of a game called Crazy Taxi that I played when I was younger. I forgot about that, by the way. Now, I do know what that is. If you know what that game is, I love you. So it managed to be a nostalgic LTM in a way, too. Overall, a great mode that deserved more time in the game than it got. I actually completely forgot about this mode, and I've only played it a couple times. I had fun with it, but I'm not going to lie, it wasn't my favorite LTM. I do prefer more of the Battle Royale type game modes. I like, for example, Bodyguard's my favorite. Then again, I do like Knockout, so what am I saying? But you get the point what I'm saying. It's typically not my favorite mode, but I totally respect that. I did not expect to see tilted taxis on there. It was a good mode. It was a very, very underrated mode, I will say that. The Getaway. Between the coordination and multiple chances to win, it was just a fun mode, but there was also the chance to try vaulted suppressed weapons. I know I'm oversimplifying it, but I have such a fondness over that mode since it felt like a balance between casualness, building, your ways to play, coordination, and pure fun. Dude, I loved this mode. My squad, guys, for the most part, I had one person that I played. I'm doing it again. What's wrong with me? I'm doing it again. I think what it is, because for those of you who saw this for the first time, that's some hand signal from my webcam. Is it this? No, maybe. I gotta figure out what it is. What did I just do? I don't know. Doesn't matter. Oh well, what can you do? Anyways, sorry for the little bit of a pause there, but okay, we did end up reading this. Sorry for saying that. Anyways, that entire interruption, my apologies. The Getaway, I had one friend who enjoyed playing this, and I have so many people that I play Fortnite with. Everybody hated it. I never understood that. The Getaway was a blast, and because my friends didn't want to play it, I never got that amazing crystal skull llama thing. I love that back bling and I can't use it. It's still locked to this day. It's horrible. But the Getaway was a fantastic LTM. I loved it. It was one of my, again, favorite times playing Fortnite. It was so nostalgic. It was a perfect way to introduce in Chapter 1, Season 5, and I thought it was fantastic. It was a beautiful, beautiful LTM. One of a kind for its era, by the way. We're going to keep talking about LTMs in just a second, though. But guys, before we do, if you haven't, please consider using code Clen in the item shop if you want to support me, if you want to help with the channel. Guys, this stuff helps so much more than you realize. I'm about to have a baby this week, and I'm trying to make enough money from YouTube so my wife doesn't have to go back to work. And this type of thing helps so much more than you know. So if you are interested in supporting the channel, use code Clen in the item shop. Thank you very much. Let's continue on with the LTMs. The Marvel Knockout from Chapter 2, Season 4. This mode was incredibly fun and mixes Marvel's powers and abilities with Fortnite's wacky and goofy mechanics, which made for an incredibly fun experience. Not to mention the fact if you wanted to, you could also play Marvel Cups, which use these modes where the top players would unlock a secret Marvel character early before everyone else. Personally, if I was in charge of this LTM, I would bring it back with all the new Marvel mythics we have. Could you imagine? Anyways, and I'd also have it return every time we got a new Marvel skin, but with the addition of a new mythic that is linked with whichever new character they add to the game, so it continues to expand and also adds more substance to the game rather than just adding a new skin. That's a fantastic idea, especially for an LTM and a competitive LTM that so many people hold to their heart special to this day. Like we were talking about Marvel Knockout earlier in the video. It is one of the community's favorite modes. It's so underrated. Marvel Knockout's a blast, and could you imagine them bringing that back? I didn't even think about it with like Venom Smash and Grab. We had Wolverine's Claws, but like we've had so many awesome mythics throughout the years. Oh my god, that would be so much fun. Could you imagine like Disney decides to do like a knockout mode of their own where we have all the Star Wars weapons, whatever else they decide to add, you know? Oh, or just a mythic only LTM. I still want that, dude. Okay, here's a very, very forgotten one. Food Fight Deep Fried. Combine the two best LTMs into one. It was even more chaotic than the original Floor's Lava and Food Fight, making it more fun. I really miss these big team versus big team LTMs. Yeah, it's true. You never see any type of big team battle thing anymore. Big team battle is something I'm used to saying for Halo, but you get the point. It's exactly true. It was fun. It was chaotic. Combined two great LTMs. It was great. I'm surprised we didn't see Floor's Lava on this list or Air Royale. My favorite LTM will always be Disco Domination. It was one of the LTMs that just hit right with me. Dancing with teammates was always a blast. They really need to bring it back. It's true. There's nothing else to add about that, man. Disco Domination was a blast. It was very wholesome, very nostalgic. It was a great mode. For me, it has to be Floor's Lava Food Fight. It's just the combined two greatest game modes, and it made it and it worked good. And not gonna lie, if one team dealt a lot of damage compared to the other team, it was basically over. I remember just having fun with my friends climbing up the wall. It was so funny. I also enjoyed shooting people down in the lava. I wish they brought it back because it was just so good. Dare you later. No, but that's so true. How many clips did you see back in the day? And do you remember the first time you saw somebody climbing that wall or a clip of them climbing the wall trying to get to the top and you were like, what's going on there? And then you figured out it was from the new game mode and the storm was very unique. It's just you had that wall there. Oh man, just thinking about that. Can you believe that that was in 2018? That's crazy to me. Just Food Fight in general, but like I don't know when Floor's Lava Food Fight came out, but it's crazy to think about how long ago some of these LTMs were. There are only two real contenders for this, Marvel Knockout and Spy Games, but I will have to give it to Marvel Knockout because it was the one saving grace of an otherwise disgraceful season. Oh my god, you #1 collab hater Green Starfish. This I will not stand for. Anyways, The superpower mythics were a ton of fun to use, and putting them into a bracket style competition was a great idea. Would be cool if we got a new version of the Greek superpowers once we have more of them. That's a good point, but I'm completely joking, everybody. Of course, I talk about this a lot on the channel. Everybody has their own opinions. Everybody likes their different things, so absolutely no hard feelings there. But I can't believe that you didn't like chapter 2 season 4. The gameplay was peak. The gameplay was peak. I understand though, I do, but it's crazy to me that you really hate that season, but Marvel Knockout's your favorite LTM. Very, very interesting there. Food fight, definitely. I love food fights so much because it's like 50-50, but even better because everyone actually has to work as a team to defend their base. If your base is destroyed, all respawns are off, and it can be intense and incredibly fun. Nothing to add there. That's a fantastic reason to absolutely love it, and any 50-50 type thing was always fun, especially back in the day. I remember those old defaults, the nice ones that would come and revive you. You know what I'm surprised about though, guys? That nobody actually mentioned imposters as an LTM. Maybe it's because people don't really think about it as an LTM, but if you want to talk about imposters, because it's a great mode, it's a fantastic mode, check out this video on why Epic Games vaulted imposters. I'd love to know what you guys think about it down below. Check it out, guys. I will see you either there or in the next one. Take care.